Hello, my name is Rosalind Alleman, and I'm a reference librarian here at the National Transportation Library. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to using the TranStats platform to access BTS airline data and describe the various tools you can use. We will be using the T100 traffic data for the presentation and sample questions, but TranStats can also be used to access other airline data products. We will finish up with some sample questions that you can try on your own, then watch how we navigate TranStats and answer those questions in the video linked below in the description box. Some useful features you can access on the home page include carrier snapshots, which pull together data from different data sets for the various carriers, airport snapshots, the last 12 months of high-level airline data, and the aviation support tables. To find the latter, click Aviation on the left navigation, then click Aviation Support Tables to access lookup tables for airlines, airports, and aircraft types. You can find useful information like how long an airport or carrier has been in service, at least in terms of reporting BTS data, and all the various codes by which carriers and airports have been known. To navigate to the T100 domestic market, click Aviation on the left side of the home page. Then click Air Carrier Statistics Form 41 Traffic, U.S. Carriers. There are two main ways to access any data set in TranStats, the Analysis tool and the Download function. With the Analysis tool, you click on the title of the schedule, then you have quick access to a few fields with crosstabs and time series options. You can download the aggregated data easily using the Download function. With the green arrow here, you can click Download to access more detailed tables with all the variables if you want them. You will get the data monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually depending on how it's aggregated in the original source. And you can use Microsoft Access or similar programs to filter and consolidate data if it's too large to work with in Excel. You can also filter by U.S. state geography to make the file smaller. To use the Analysis tool, once you click on the name of the file, you click Analysis next to the field you want. The T100 data includes information about origin and destination of a flight, the carrier, service class, and aircraft type. The last one's for T100 segment data only, for 1990 to the present. Up at the top, under Summaries, are the variables that you can count. In this case, it's passengers, freight, mail, and distance. So for example, click Analysis next to Origin. The linked field names indicate that there's a lookup table for that field. In this case, we have a number of passengers by origin airport for 2024. Click Recalculate if you change any of these menus. You can also sort the data by value or code. In this case, it defaulted to sorting by code, so we clicked Value Descending. This gives us origin airports by number of passengers, starting with Atlanta. Next, we'll look at the time series function. It's located on the left navigation under Analysis Type. This function gives you all the available years of the fields you selected, showing 6 columns per screen. You can scroll through it using the Next links or click the Download Results link above the Filter menu to download the whole time series. Here are some notes and tips on using TranStats. The latest available at the time of recording was July. If you want a full year, you'd want to change this menu to 2023 and recalculate. There's also information about reporting changes, which are often due to mergers. If you get a syntax error when you're trying to access TranStats, the only option is to go back to the home page and start over. Make sure you pick the most unique fields available. For example, use origin airport code versus city because there can be more than one airport per city. Use unique carrier code versus name because there may be more than one city with the same name. It's also easier to read the letter codes than numerical codes. When you're looking at a table with a code rather than a name, you can hover your mouse over the code to see what it stands for. I always go for origin airport code or destination airport code because that's the airport code that's the most understandable, but also fairly unique. The notes next to the field name will explain the source of that code, and of course you can look up all the carrier codes and airport codes in the aviation support tables, as I mentioned earlier. Now we're going to look at the crosstabs function. After we click crosstabs on the left side, we're going to use the new menu Filter Columns and select Quarter, then Recalculate. We can then see the quarters in the columns and the origin airport codes in the rows. Depending on the size of the table, crosstabs may not download all at once. You may need to page over by clicking Next and download again to get the rest. Now you may not need all the rows or columns in the search results, depending on who you're looking for. To narrow it down, Search the results in the upper left corner, click rows or columns, or both, then enter your term or terms separated by commas. Note that it's commas with no spaces between, and it's just a text search of the origin airport code and the origin airport name in this case. So for the example of these three New York airport codes, LGA will pull up more results than the airport code for LaGuardia because there are airport names in the world with the letters LGA in them, but we are still reducing the size of the results considerably. What if you want to see more fields, or all available fields for a particular year? How about origin, destination, carrier, month, and passengers? Click on Data Tables, then Download under the database description. A note about how data is aggregated. The T100 traffic data have one row for each origin and destination pair, carrier, month, service class, and aircraft type in the case of the segment data. So it may still require more aggregating, depending on your purposes, but you cannot disaggregate it to the flight level or the day level. On-time performance data, on the other hand, is entirely disaggregated with one row per flight, and it is monthly. So for every day, there's a list of all the flights for the reporting carriers. The origin and destination survey aggregates each passenger who purchased the same full itinerary for the same price during a particular quarter. To do a full download, you set the filter menus for geography and date. The advantage of the geography filter is this: if you know you're interested in flights into or out of a particular state, then you can select that state under Filter Geography, and it will limit it to traffic in and out of that state. In the international T100 data, you can filter by country. Or if you just want a particular month, you can filter by that month in any of the files. Next, you want to click the boxes next to the fields you would like to download. Some are selected automatically because they break out how the data is aggregated. But you have to select something under summaries or you won't have anything to count. Click on Get Lookup Table if you want to see all the items in that field. For example, here you're going to select passengers as well as unique carrier name, origin and destination, and the city names, and then click Download. Remember that the current year's data may not be complete, so be aware of release dates. Remember that you have to select one of the fields under summaries or you won't have anything to analyze in your download. For this download, I filtered for flights in and out of Alaska, sorted by origin, then destination, then carrier, then month. Remember that there are separate rows for each origin and destination pair, month, service class, scheduled versus non-scheduled service, and freight versus passenger service, and for aircraft type in the segment data. For example, for this carrier here at the top of the table, they have data only for the warmer months, as you can see, and I'm guessing based on the months that are available and the fact that it's an Alaskan carrier, it means that they are seasonal and don't operate in the winter. Files you download from TranStats may be too large to open in Excel, especially the origin and destination survey, so visit the directions in the FAQ we linked below in the description box of this video, or go to transportation.libanswers.com to view our FAQ on downloading large files from TranStats. Click on the video linked below in the description box to try out some sample questions that will help you further understand how to use the platform. After you read the question, stop the presentation and go to the live website at www.transstats.bts.gov to try solving it yourself. Then you can come back and see how I solved it.